What happens when America's beloved home renovation queen faces off against one of television's most seasoned hosts in what started as a routine morning show appearance, but quickly spiraled into the most uncomfortable interview moment of the year? Before we dive into this incredible story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you think really triggered this explosive confrontation. The Today Show studio buzzed with its usual morning energy as Joanna Gaines settled into the iconic interview chair across from Hoda Kotb. The crew moved swiftly, lights were adjusted, and producers whispered last-minute cues. Joanna smoothed the sleeve of her cardigan, her posture straight, but her eyes giving away a slight edge of tension. What should have been a simple promotional visit for her latest Magnolia Ventures was about to become something entirely different. "Good morning, Joanna. It's so wonderful to have you back with us," Hoda began, her warm smile instantly familiar to millions of viewers. Joanna returned the smile, though hers seemed tighter than usual. "Thank you so much, Hoda. It's always a pleasure being here." Hoda looked down at her cards only briefly before diving into her first question. "Now, Magnolia has grown into this massive brand. Your network, your home goods, your real estate projects. Some critics say you've moved pretty far from your humble fixer-upper roots. How do you respond to people who say you've lost touch with everyday families?" Joanna held her smile, though it flickered for a second. "Our mission has always been about helping families create beautiful spaces, regardless of budget," she said. Hoda leaned in. "But let's be honest. A throw pillow from your collection costs more than some families spend on groceries in a week. Doesn't that seem a bit out of touch with the values your brand was built on?" The studio's temperature seemed to drop. Joanna clasped her hands together, her voice steady but cooling. "We provide quality pieces that last." "Investment pieces," Hoda repeated. Interesting way to frame a $90 candle. Before Joanna could respond, Hoda continued. "And what about reports from former employees describing long hours? Pressure to maintain the perfect Magnolia image? Even being written up for taking long bathroom breaks? How do you respond to these allegations?" Joanna's jaw tightened. "Hoda, I'm not sure where you're getting this information. We pride ourselves on creating a positive work environment." Hoda didn't blink. "We spoke to several former employees." The tension thickened. What began as a cheerful interview was rapidly unraveling, and Joanna's calm exterior was beginning to show dangerous cracks. Joanna adjusted her posture, her breath shallow as the questions grew sharper. The studio's usually lively atmosphere transformed into something heavy, almost suffocating. The cameras rolled in complete silence except for Hoda's increasingly pointed tone. Joanna attempted to regain control of the conversation, but it was clear that Hoda wasn't letting go. "So, you're saying these employees were lying?" Hoda asked. "I'm saying people interpret experiences differently," Joanna replied, visibly irritated. "But our company values speak for themselves." "Your company values," Hoda echoed. "Let's talk about those." Joanna inhaled slowly, bracing herself. "You promote an image of simple living, down-to-earth family values. But you live in a multi-million-dollar farmhouse. Your kids go to private schools, and you have a staff handling most daily tasks. Isn't your lifestyle very different from the one you market to your audience?" "That's a huge assumption," Joanna snapped. "Is it? Your social media shows custom everything, organic groceries, professional photography, curated perfection. Beautiful? Absolutely. But it's not exactly the accessible life your brand sells." Joanna's composure cracked again. "We've been blessed, yes, but that doesn't mean we've forgotten our roots." "Your roots," Hoda said, eyes narrowing. "Let's talk about those." Joanna froze. "Research into your family's background shows the humble beginnings. Narrative might be more crafted than authentic. Your father was very successful in the automotive industry. Your childhood home wasn't exactly the modest farmhouse your brand suggests." Joanna stiffened. "I don't appreciate you bringing my family into this." "This is basic fact-checking," Hoda replied, unflinching. "Your story of starting from nothing, it's compelling. But it's not entirely accurate, is it?" The silence was deafening. Joanna's expression hardened, the warmth draining from her face. "I'm here to talk about our new furniture line, not to have my family's history dissected." "But your family story is your product," Hoda said. "You're not just selling furniture. You're selling a dream of what life could be. When that story has inconsistencies, Viewers deserve to know. Joanna's voice rose despite her attempt to stay composed. What viewers deserve is to be inspired, not to see successful people torn down. Hoda wasn't backing off. But success built on privilege is different from success built from nothing. And your fans deserve honesty about which one your brand is built on. This time, Joanna didn't respond. Her silence spoke louder than any words could. The tension in the studio thickened, to the point where even the crew shifted uncomfortably. Behind the cameras, Joanna's hands trembled subtly, though she kept them tightly clasped in her lap. Every time she opened her mouth to respond, Hoda's next question sliced through her defenses. "Let's talk about those early property investments," Hoda said calmly. "The ones that launched your renovation business. Those purchases weren't made on a bootstrap budget, were they? There was significant family backing. Yet that detail rarely makes it into your origin story." Joanna leaned forward, her voice sharper than ever. "Every family helps each other. That doesn't diminish what Chip and I built. Most families don't have the resources to help their children buy investment properties in their 20s. Hoda replied. "Most are trying to pay rent or afford groceries." Joanna shook her head, fury beginning to replace frustration. "This is incredibly unfair." "Is it unfair?" Hoda shot back. "Or is it uncomfortable?" Joanna swallowed hard, blinking rapidly as if she were forcing back tears. And then, Hoda continued, "There's the issue of branding. You sell simplicity, white walls, rustic wood, the illusion of modest charm. Yet your real life is supported by wealth your audience can't imagine. We never encourage anyone to spend beyond their means," Joanna argued. "But your brand depends on aspiration," Hoda said. "Your message is that the Magnolia look brings peace, joy, harmony. But to achieve that look, the average family has to spend money they don't have." Joanna's voice cracked. "We're not manipulating anyone. People are vulnerable," Hoda replied. "Mothers trying to create perfect homes. Families trying to feel good about their spaces there, influenced by what you present. And if you've built that presentation on a story that's not entirely true, that's a problem." Joanna's breath hitched. She stood slightly from her chair, as if ready to walk out. "And let's discuss Waco," Hoda continued mercilessly. "Property values have skyrocketed since. Fixer-upper. Families who live there for generations are being priced out. Investors bought in after your show. Many locals were left behind. We brought jobs and tourism," Joanna countered weakly. "You brought wealth to a select few," Hoda said. "The rest paid the price." That comment seemed to break something inside Joanna. Her eyes filled with tears, not sadness, but wildfire rage. "You twist everything," she whispered. Hoda folded her hands calmly. "I'm asking questions. If the truth sounds twisted, maybe the problem isn't the question." Joanna rose fully from her chair, breathing fast, her voice seething. "I cannot sit here and listen to this anymore." Joanna's chair scraped loudly against the studio floor as she stood, her microphone trembling against her blouse. The crew exchanged nervous glances. This was no longer an interview. It was a collapse unfolding live. Joanna wiped angrily at the tears streaking her face, though they only seemed to fuel Hoda's steely focus. "Then don't sit," Hoda said, her voice low and controlled. "But before you walk out, answer this. How does your business model help people instead of exploiting them?" Joanna stared at her, speechless. "You built a brand on relatability," Hoda continued. "But relatability requires honesty. Authenticity requires transparency. And you've sold millions of dollars of products to people who believe you, understand their lives." Joanna shook her head violently. "You have no idea what we've built. The joy we've brought into homes across the country." "I'm not denying joy," Hoda replied. "I'm questioning whether that joy comes at the cost of financial stress, unrealistic expectations, and a dream that's simply impossible for most families." Joanna lifted her chin. "People are not stupid. They make their own decisions. They make decisions based on what they're sold," Hoda said. "And you're selling a fantasy." That word hit Joanna like a slap. She pointed at Hoda, her voice trembling. "How dare you judge my life, my family, everything we've worked for?" Hoda rose from her seat now, matching Joanna's intensity. "This isn't about your family. This is about the responsibility of influence. If you profit from people's aspirations, you owe them honesty about the life you're selling." Joanna backed away, each step heavier than the last. "I'm done. This is an ambush. And I don't have to sit here and be attacked by someone who has. She gestured sharply at Hoda. Never built anything. The words hit like a detonator. The crew froze. Hoda's expression hardened in an instant. Never built anything. Hoda repeated, her voice icy. I have built trust with millions of viewers. I have built a career on honesty. What I haven't built is a brand that profits off people's insecurities. Joanna turned away, ripping off her microphone. Joanna, Hoda called out. Your audience deserves answers, not a walkout. Without looking back, Joanna raised her hand. This interview is over. The studio doors slammed behind her, leaving behind a stunned silence, a shaken host, and millions of viewers who would never see Joanna Gaines the same way again.